What's that?
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Pod Killers podcast.
Oh yeah!
Dead
It's
inside.
taken so long to get this ready.
Yeah.
This is
It has taken way too long.
It's taken
to
like
get this
what,
ready.
like almost a month maybe?
Yeah.
the few missed
It was
ID
supposed to be like
times.
that weekend and it took us so much longer. It was horrible.
It did. It's my favorite thing in the world.
That sounds like a lie.
No, we figured it out!
We figured it out!
Yeah, so if you didn't know, we posted a little disclosure on our TikTok
Did it
page
without me.
without Dylan
Without
because he was not there that day.
Dylan got
That's
strep
alright.
throat
He
like
did.
a pussy.
Like
I mean,
whoa, it's cool, bro.
First bleep of the series.
I'm
not bleeping that.
And
Okay.
we're
I hope
very
you
sorry
know
for the
this.
delay, but we're here.
Yeah, anyway, today we are doing It Came From Outer Space, which was released in 1953, re-released in the 80s at some point, and yeah.
Yeah. So me, Lady, and Reed watched it.
Yeah.
But Josiah was not there. He's just here to tag along, and I guess you can like ask
I
questions.
was busy
on
that
what you
day,
wonder,
and so I will be interviewing the rest of them.
We'll be in your
Yeah, he won't
Yes.
understand Spider on the String. sadly.
He won't understand Spider on the String.
Spider.
You don't understand Spider on the String. You'll
You
find
will.
out about Spider on the String.
Or if you watch our TikTok, you know about
Everybody will
spider.
know.
It's actually
Don't
starfish because we
know.
couldn't find a spider.
Yes, yes.
That's horrible.
So this movie has a G rating. Believe it or not, the movie with blood in the 50s had G rating.
And could you tell us what G rating is, Mr. Reed?
General.
Thank you.
General audience.
G audience.
General audience.
Which means even you, can watch it.
Yes, you toddlers, you 3-year-olds out there can watch this movie.
It's a great movie. You should watch
It's
it.
a great movie.
I don't actually know
And
this.
it's actually listed as a psychological sci-fi thriller.
Which is really strange because it wasn't really much to do with minds, other than like I guess sort of like
Copying people.
Yeah, copying people and mass hysteria was about really it on I'd say like the mentality sort of side of horror.
Alright. Well, I don't know a single thing about this movie, but yeah.
So do you guys want to go over the like the scores that other people have given?
Yeah, I see on the
Oh.
notes you combined everybody's notes together.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did that at the end.
Yeah. It's just so we can like as I'm giving the
You know
synopsis,
what
we
you
can take
said.
like little breaks.
Yeah.
We can take like little breaks to actually talk about
Are we
those
each
parts.
gonna say a rating?
We will each say our ratings.
Yeah, at the end.
our
we're gonna
ratings.
do it
I
at
meant.
the
I
end.
thought you meant like
That's
the
at the end.
IMBD.
Okay.
Oh yes. Do you guys want to go through the scores and give?
So it had an IMDb score of 6.5 out of 10.
Very lackluster, if you ask me. It was
I
a great
mean,
That is
for
literally
a movie from the 50s and 80s, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
good.
a great score. Rotten Tomatoes actually gave it a better score, giving it an
80%.
80%.
Really good, great.
No, Rotten
80%.
Tomatoes. That's like impressive.
But
That is
then
really
the
impressive.
actual statistic that matters, the audience score of 90%. That's pretty
That's
impressive.
That's psychotic.
That is why it's a psychological.
Well, I'd say that's most definitely like a cult following of the movie that rated it that.
Probably.
Probably.
That was definitely from like the 80s.
That's like people
re-release.
that, you know how it's like, there's like a distinct group of people that love Scott Pilgrim. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
That's me.
That's
like
also
the
one of my
fan-
two
it's the
favorite
fan
movies
base.
ever.
One of my favorite
It's like
movies.
anyone from the outside will think, wow, Matthew Pattel's really fucking, really darn cringy. But
Now we have our first
but
bleed.
now I watch it, it's like, yeah, this is one of my favorite movies ever. It's so good.
This is in the top, like AFI's top 10, like greatest sci-fi films of all time.
AFIs.
AFI,
What is AFI?
AFI,
Okay.
American Fiction Institute.
American
Gotcha.
Family Institute.
That's
Not film
No.
fiction.
Ever?
Top 10 ever.
Wow, that's
And it was the 75th like biggest money grabber of the 1953 of 1950.
I'm sure there weren't a
Oh,
lot of
the
movies to compete though in 1953.
Well, you
Well,
never know.
for being 1953, it actually didn't have too bad of like graphics. Not
Effects.
graphics. Effects. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get to.
Oh yeah, it had
It was
great
really
effects.
Oh, yeah.
That is like my favorite thing. Josiah, shut up.
You weren't even there.
Covering like the asteroid at the start looked really nice. Like you said, it was what that they did for it?
They got just a steel ball,
Yeah.
and like all the windows or vents in it, those are all just pretty much holes for them to just pour mercury into. Which
Okay.
you should not do, because if you breathe that in, you will die.
Yeah.
But they were just like, this is a good idea, and then they threw it as hard as they could. They had some poor intern throw this ball as he just blew up.
That's why didn't they do it with like magnesium or something?
Before we
They
get
did it
too
with-
far, how will we describe the setting of the movie and
The middle of the
and-
desert.
And
Yeah,
I
Arizona.
But
I
that's
forget what part of
Is it
Arizona.
Rockwell?
It was like
Is it Rockwell?
It's desert in Arizona, which is like.
it wasn't like an
90%
actual
of Arizona.
disclosed location. In
Oh no, yeah, it was Sandrock. Sandrock,
It was-
Arizona.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I forgot.
This is why we have notes.
This is why we have
We're
notes.
stupid. This was again a month ago when we
It
did
was.
this
It
movie.
was a
That was a
while.
bit ago.
Where even is that in here?
What in the notes?
The Sandrock, it's in the synopsis. I literally read through the first
Yeah.
paragraph to find it.
I'm not
Very
gonna
organized,
that.
as you can tell.
Yes. All right. So let's move on to the production of this movie. So it was produced by William Allen and directed by Jack
William
Arnold.
Afton. Sorry.
Hey, quiet down in the back, alright?
FNAF is coming out. If you want to see us cover FNAF, we might.
should.
We
Oh, they're
should.
calling.
We 100% should. Me and my boyfriend are gonna go watch it when it comes out.
It comes out on
The
Halloween.
27th,
No,
right?
it comes out on the 27th.
Oh, the 27th, but we'll watch it after Halloween.
October 27th. We will watch it and we will go to a movie theater together.
I don't know if we'll
I'm
just
gonna watch
do you
it
want to
again
do
with other
podcast.
We can do a podcast on it.
We should.
Yeah, we can. We can before
That's
it comes
such a
out.
historical movie.
It is.
In our age group,
I
that is
have
like
been
actually, like,
waiting.
this is history.
I've been
If
waiting like a
Markiplier's in the movie?
decade. He is.
Dude, Matt Pat-
he
needs to get on this immediately.
he in a live stream he was like, in the movie Markiplier in the movie, so there's a really good chance that Markiplier will be.
That's crazy.
But back to our actual movie.
Yes. So this movie is actually starring, like at the time in the 50s, some of the greatest stars
Yeah.
ever. With Richard Carlson, Barbara Rush, Charles Drake, Joe Sawyer, and Russell Johnson.
It's like, even
Barbara
from way
Rush
back
is
then.
queen.
I was gonna say I recognize Barbara Rush just by the name. I don't know her words.
Barbara
but I
Rush
can
did a
familiar.
fantastic job.
She
She
was
was the
actually
only
really
character
strong.
that actually seemed scared throughout
Just-
the entire movie.
I
What about the
except for
donkey?
the donkey.
And the donkey. Well, the donkey was the most scared out of the entire
Well, I
movie.
remember
Then it was Barbara
one of the
Rush.
most distinct things you had in your notes was ear rape scream from Barbara Rush.
From Barbara
Like
Rush.
several times too. It was like
Yes.
5 separate times.
But yes,
Well, they used one scream probably 5 separate times.
Yeah.
for this being like set in Arizona, it was actually filmed in California in the
That-
Mojave Desert.
That makes sense though.
It's great.
Except for you would never be able to do that now with like prices for land renting.
And can we just take this time to commemorate the lovely musical artists who didn't get any recognition in this movie?
Who was it?
They didn't get recognition?
Irving Gertz, Henry Mancini, and Herman Steen. We see you.
We see.
And we're sorry that nobody gave you any credit for doing
I don't
music
know
in
those
this movie.
people.
They're probably.
Exactly, because they didn't give them
I
credit.
mean, yeah.
They are probably not alive. You're right, Josiah.
Absolutely.
But if you know
We
them,
give you credit.
tell them. We give them credit. All right. What is this? What does the opening scene entail?
Well,
The ball.
Remember? Did
Was
you
that
guys
the start?
watch the movie?
A month
Okay.
ago.
Okay, okay.
wasn't the opening scene? Did it start immediately with the ship crashing, or wasn't it like a little bit of prologue first?
So
no,
it
because
started off with all right. So it started off
it was the husband and the wife sitting in their
John
house.
Putnam.
Oh yeah, they were just
Yeah.
sitting in their like very fancy house.
yeah, John Putnam, which is the main character, and his wife Ellen Fields, played by Barbara Rush, were just sitting by the fireplace and talking. And they would like make their way to the doorway, talking, blah blah blah, moving outside to watch
They
the
looked through their
stars.
special little telescope that was just sitting there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's an
Well,
astronomer.
we didn't know that until after.
Yeah, we didn't know that until the end of the
He
movie.
just had a random telescope.
Yeah,
while we
they
did.
really didn't set that up well.
Yeah. But you know what? They were going to watch the stars, and all of a sudden they see this meteorite crash, and they crash like near their town of Sandrock, Arizona. And what do we think of Sandrock, Arizona?
Southern Arizona is
the Mojave Desert?
definitely encaptures a town in the middle of the Arizona desert. It was empty. There was like 20 people maybe.
Is it like a ghost town or what?
Not ghost.
It's not
entirely.
supposed to
It was
be.
populated,
It just
but it's
looked
just like
it.
Oh, okay.
it's a black and white film in the middle of the desert in a small town.
Yeah. So personally, I think the special effects for the alien spaceship crashing, was just really cool.
The SFX were really good.
Great.
And the
Oh, yeah.
practical effects were amazing. Like after crashing, when he investigates the ship for the first time,
Mhm.
like the doors, the giant doors opening up, and
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
like the eyeball tentacle like slowly coming out later on as well. It all looked really good, I'd say. Especially
Yes.
for the time, it was done well.
Yes, and when like just like speaking of when he was moving in like the big spaceship, and he looks in the spaceship, and it like the camera pans around and shows us
It gives an eerie feeling.
the orb.
And-
The orb.
Yeah, the orb. Oh my.
My favorite thing in this movie is actually the orb.
Not Spider on the String.
No.
I like
I'm so
Spider.
sorry. But it was just, especially back then, it probably made a child cry.
Okay, what did this orb do? I don't
It
know.
orbed.
It orbed.
It orbed. Okay, so what?
I don't, it just disappeared eventually.
So let's salute to their great storytelling skills. What I've alluded from this is they were in a town. They looked up at the star. They saw an asteroid fall and explode.
It didn't explode.
It didn't explode, it was just
It crashed.
fiery.
Oh, okay, it was just firing. It crashed down. They went into the spaceship
Mhm.
of after. I'm
It was a
assuming-
small spaceship, so they just looked into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
but what I'm assuming they like did a little adventure journey.
Well, it was only Putnam that investigated
Yeah.
because the entire like, at least the sheriff of the
The
town
sheriff
showed
and the
up there
wife
and
thought
kept
he
the
was
wife away.
crazy.
Yeah.
They
And also
were
the-
like,
the
this is
helicopter.
dumb. Oh my, we're not there yet, we're
my
not there
God.
yet.
No, because that's how they got there for the first time. Was they took the helicopter.
Yep.
But we didn't see it until they left.
They did. Remember they took off from the airfield?
Okay. Just for you, Josiah. There was, I'm going to show it up here in editing, there was this thing called the Pete Davis helicopter. It invoked a feeling of pure rage and hatred
That
out
thing
of
was
me.
going to fall
Yeah,
apart
it
at the
was.
seams.
It was a masterpiece in a hatred
It was
way.
2 blades, a steel frame, and some like car seats
That's beautiful.
welded together.
That is
with
all
an
it.
engine. That's
We'll have to
literally
show you a picture of it after because
Look at
they've
that
already
post.
seen
Hey, pull it
from
up, pull it up,
editing.
pull it up.
Alright, hold on. The Pete Davis helicopter. Which sounds a lot like James Davis.
Oh, if you know, you know.
Good.
Ah,
I don't
It was
even
the.
know.
Oh, that's like an actual helicopter?
Wait, what?
y'all are
What did you
overreacting
think it
over
was
nothing.
fake? Of course it was a real thing.
Except it was like from the 1950s, so it didn't.
Yeah, so-
The one in the
It looks
movie
fine.
looked handmade though.
Hold
That's
on.
probably how it was made.
That looks
It was
fine.
welded together.
Hold on.
No, but I mean, like, it looked like two
that
kids in the
picture.
backyard put it together and like, ooh, I have a
Phineas and Ferb.
helicopter.
Like,
Yeah.
I know what we're gonna do today.
That
Then she
looks
has it.
fine. What are you talking about?
No, dude.
No,
It
look
looks
at
like
the
it's
one-
about to fall apart.
Yeah,
it's
that,
not.
it looks like it was put together in someone's
It
backyard.
looks like a $250,000 trip to Mars. This is a helicopter.
They cut up the roll cage from an old like derby car and slapped it together.
Yeah. Okay, so they got over to the Starship crash.
Yes.
The-
Alright. And as they were flying, do you want to know what this guy? So they rode there with their neighbor. The neighbor had the Pete Davis helicopter.
Okay.
All right. And do you know what he said as they were arriving?
What is
Something that invoked feeling of hatred out of Laney. Keep your shirt on.
Why?
Yeah, can I get some context?
That is so. It's so
There was no
dumb. That was
context.
it.
Okay,
There's no
keep your shirt on. Keep your shirt
They're like
on.
landing, and the guy just looks at him and goes, "Keep your shirt
Wait,
on."
are they gonna get into the helicopter and take their shirt off? Like
Yeah,
what?
maybe talk. I
wish
don't know.
Barbara Rush would.
I don't.
Hey, save the talk for you now.
The
Somewhere
after
else.
party.
Exactly. So they get to the Starship. What do they see?
We're already
He
past
goes
that.
down
They
there.
saw the orb.
And he's
Okay, where is the orb? You describe it to me.
It's like in the middle. It's like a white orb in
It's
the middle.
literally
of
just
this-
like a little white orb that's shown on screen for probably a millisecond.
And then it disappears.
And then it just
And
disappears.
we don't get any like.
And there's
context.
it never comes back. It's never explained what it is.
Well, I feel
it's
like-
just an orb.
It was meant to set up the sort of like
Alien.
yeah, it was supposed
Yeah.
to set up the main, I guess, not antagonist because they weren't antagonistic. They were just like
I mean, they
there.
kind of were at the end.
They just wanted to leave.
They just wanted to leave, but then they were like, "Well, we'll kill you if you don't." So.
E.T.
Well,
phone.
with that we'll get into that later on when we
Also-
talk about like the main theme and everything.
Laney also decided to hate. Laney just didn't like this part of the movie, and because she really was hating on their helicopter run. The way they ran from the helicopter
The way they ran from the helicopter.
looked like they just sat on like Vlad the Impaler's favorite stick,
It also looked like they were on ice.
and they were on black
That's
ice.
how they ran.
Like they were gonna slide at any moment and just drop.
and I think they could have just ran like a normal person.
Yeah. I mean, they were in the middle of the desert. This wasn't a studio. This wasn't anything. They were in the desert.
But
Yeah.
why does running in a desert make you run stupidly?
Just
Acting.
Man.
Acting stupid.
I'd say that also that kind of ties in with I guess also here following up in the notes is the rock slide.
Mhm.
After they investigated the ship, the rocks started falling on Putnam, and he's just like, but just kind of sat there.
Yeah, no.
He's
And
like,
the wife was just looking. She was like,
oh no, he's gonna die.
Whoopsies.
Whoopsie poopsie.
He was literally, yeah, he looked at me and I was like, uh-oh, this is bad. Just said, alright.
They just did not care. He was like not fearful for his life at all. He was just like,
No.
well, this is it.
That was a theme for the whole movie, was a
Yeah.
lack of concern for situation.
Yes, but the effects of the rock slide.
They were pretty
They
good.
were really good.
Especially the wide pan looked really good. I'm not
Yes.
sure if he did that for like with miniatures or like actually just caused a rock slide in the desert.
I doubt they actually caused a rock slide. If anything, they were probably fake rocks.
I would be
like,
surprised.
but the effects of how good the rock slide
It looked
was
really solid.
makes his acting seem so much worse.
Well, that's definitely what shines through in the movie the most is the practical effects.
Yes.
That's the best part.
Yes.
And acting is very subpar.
The acting is, yeah.
Well, because you can't have good effects and not have good acting to like
Well,
make
yeah.
them seem
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
It doesn't
real.
sell the feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
James Wan would be disappointed in this movie.
All right. So, was there any cause for the rock fall?
Actually, yes.
Aliens.
The sounds from the spaceship, like when the door closed, because Putnam sees the alien, like in the shadows, and like
Okay.
they see each other,
Like when he emerges
and
from the spaceship.
when Putnam, because Putnam never goes in, he just kind of
Oh,
looks
he
at it.
just-
Because it's really
The
small.
door
Oh,
opened and he
so-
like looked inside and peered in.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so the door closes really quickly before he can get a full like sight of the alien, and that causes the rock slide. And Putnam, obviously, after watching rocks fall on him, decides to go and tell his fiance and neighbor about the spaceship, but obviously neither of them believe him. And the neighbor would fly the two back, and Putnam would go to both Sheriff Matt Warren.
Okay.
He's an important character in the local news. They are not important characters with his story, and they would both just be like, "Okay, dude, whatever." And so Ellen would be really unsure about like the legitimacy of her fiance's story, but being his fiance, she helps him.
Well, yeah, she wants to
Yeah.
believe that he's telling her
You're
the
gonna support the love
truth.
of your
But
life.
it's aliens.
But it's aliens, and she's like, he's a little crazy, but I love him, and I
Yeah.
don't want to make him mad.
That caused a lot of concern from the sheriff, which knows his wife personally.
Yeah, the
He was
sheriff.
like, yeah, this guy's mentally unwell.
Yeah, the sheriff was trying to break them up the entire time.
The entire
Yes.
time, the sheriff was like, this guy has to be crazy. There's
So-
no shot.
So yeah, the two would be driving back after trying to get their story out, and
Okay.
they would see an alien in the road, and Putnam would go to investigate, and he would end up finding. Are you ready for this, Josiah?
You ready?
A cactus
In the desert?
in the desert.
They screamed so loud when she ran into the cactus.
I remember
That was like the only actual scream in the entire movie, and it wasn't even from an alien, it was just from a cactus.
Nice.
Can I just say, your scream in the little skit sounded almost exactly
did.
like it, both the decibel level down like 100.
Yeah. It was
Compared to what
also
she did.
so it went over the mic.
Yes.
Like levels. Like it
peaked
Yes.
the mics.
it peaked the mics.
Nice.
And so it was really like gravelly, nasty.
Yes.
And it was
It
just
is-
so
they use that scream
loud.
throughout the entire
These are, like,
movie.
5 or 6
Yeah.
seconds.
Just like the worst scream a scream could scream throughout the entire movie.
It did scream.
It did
It
scream.
did indeed scream.
But the car effects were good.
The car effects are really good because like they'll like have it like on the
Half
sides,
the
so they're not
car and
actually
then
driving.
green screen.
They did that really well. I've seen modern movies that do it terribly.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's also easier to like apply that effect when your background is the desert.
Well, they probably did it in an actual place.
I would be surprised. Yeah.
Because they're not gonna actually drive a car unless they're gonna have a
They have
paint
like
shop.
2 cars, and they have the main the main couple cast like driving actually, and then there's a guy like hanging out the trunk with the camera.
That unpaid intern again.
He has like his ankles tied to the hood so he doesn't fall out.
It's like open season where
yeah.
him on the hood.
We should cover open season.
No.
That's not a horror movie.
I
That's
think
pretty
that's a movie.
spooky.
It's pretty spooky. Anyway, so
That
not open.
is not open season.
There's a bear.
There's a bear.
Every bear equals Freddy Fazbear.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so after they see this terrifying cactus, Putnam, who is now seen as like psychotic by everybody in this small town,
Except for his wife.
except his wife still
His
thinks
wife
he's
still
crazy.
thinks
Well,
it's
yeah,
crazy.
but she's on
She's just
board.
going with it.
Yes. Well, he continues his search for the alien. And he stops by a cruise working on this telephone pole, where Frank is one of the workers on the telephone pole.
Mm-hmm.
He tells Putnam of like strange noises he's been hearing on the telephone line. So Putnam listens, and he hears like the strange sounds as well. So Putnam, Ellen, George, who is the other worker on the telephone line, and Frank all leave. But while driving home, George and Frank would see the alien in the road, and the alien would abduct the two.
It wasn't Frank that got assimilated,
Well,
wasn't it?
they're
It was
not there yet.
George.
Well,
Frank
it
was
like
still
immediately
alive.
after.
Well, no, but like,
At this point, George is the only one assimilated, and Frank is knocked out.
But yeah, because I remember, like, after that happens, who was it that rolled up and saw George's, like, body, like, behind a rock with, like, the feet sticking out?
Yeah, Putnam. Just Putnam and Ellen.
see, the thing I hate about the way that Alien attacks people is it's just fog.
Yeah.
They didn't like make little like arm sticks or something.
No.
It's just fog.
It was
Does it smell like chloroform to you?
That's literally what he did. Except for instead of
Chlorine
chloroform,
gas, yeah.
it was just like a fog.
Yes.
What?
Also, every single time the alien would walk anywhere, it would leave an asbestos trail.
Asbestos?
The unpaid intern would
It
just
would
bake in
leave
their
like
face.
a white
White dust.
glittery white trail behind it.
They were just
Somebody was-
smoking cocaine. on
Yes.
the-
They were just-
That's
Yes,
literally
we
the note.
said-
It says cocaine in parentheses.
that is the one thing I love about the alien the most is that it leaves
It's a druggie.
an asbestos trail wherever
Yes.
it goes. I think it
Somebody's
just
watching
adds
too
a
much
little to it.
Narcos.
Okay.
Who watched Scorpion once?
So yeah, obviously, like we just said, Putnam does come back, and he sees George sneaks up behind him with his ghost hand. He's not dead.
That was
He's the alien takes his shape. For some reason, they gave him a ghost hand.
And it's like
From the camera.
it's like someone was in front of the camera doing it, but it
Yes.
also was like ghostly
It was
and
like POV.
it looked really bad and there was no reason why couldn't we just
Yeah, I'm haunting you.
It's college humor.
it would have looked so much better if the hand wasn't there at all.
Yes.
Okay.
It's so dumb.
It was literally the stupidest, probably one of the stupidest things in this movie.
Yes, honestly, it's probably the only effect where I'm like, that needs to be just cut out. It's terrible.
And I guess kind of from there it started escalating. I guess it started getting on actually with the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started because Putnam knew about them being aliens.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to convince the sheriff.
Well,
to
he
let them
wasn't
do their
sure
thing.
at first.
But within 10 minutes of the movie, he was like, okay.
Alright.
And it's like he trailed them while they were in town. He's like, I know you guys are. I know you're aliens.
He does.
And he followed them to an abandoned building, and he was like, leave us be. And they talked in this weird monotone single tone decibel voice.
But see,
They're
I love that part
oh yeah, it's like Putnam.
because that's
We were
like
stealing electronics from the hardware store to make this.
What?
that didn't happen.
We need your power drills.
We need a power strip 12 volts.
Yeah, it's the
and
average
an
person.
electric drill.
We need your HDMI cord.
It's the average
Put it in
white
the right
person
port,
going
you
to Home
buffoon. I told you the USB is the right way. It's not. Yes, it is.
But yeah, so Putnam, this is really where Putnam's like, okay, aliens are stealing our bodies, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers style. I don't know.
Or
Did that movie come
Fans.
after this? Yeah, that movie came after this.
Actually, I have
Yeah.
no clue.
So and he does see Frank behind a rock, like you said earlier.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. And this scene was actually like with him in the desert, him just noticing Frank, and George's like, there is nothing wrong here. Remove yourself. It's kind of scary. It's like he
was-
can just
definitely would freak
murder
out a
them right
child.
there. He can kill them right there.
I'm surprised that none of the other townspeople noticed that these people were not the same because it's very obvious.
Definitely, that's in a town like that. Everybody knows everybody. There's
Yeah.
no way that nobody else caught on. Because even later on, the sheriff is still in disbelief, despite it's obvious.
Yes.
And he starts throwing together a Rango style posse to chase down these people in a cave. It's I don't know. It was a lot all over everywhere.
Yes. And
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
It's everywhere.
but yeah, and then that scene that you just talked about where they're in the alley and they're like, we need the USB cable. happens.
Well, that's what they did. Because they stole the reason they assimilated into the people working on the lines is because the truck had like hardware and stuff. And, like,
They did take the truck, yeah.
They did.
Oh, I forgot about the truck.
Yeah.
I also forgot about
Well, that's
the
the
truck.
reason they targeted Frank and George, is because they worked on hardware and electronics.
Yeah.
And all they were trying to do was fix
Fix
their
their
ship
spaceship.
and go home.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then after that scene, we cut to miners. M-I-N-E-R-S.
Yes.
Miners.
Pickaxe miners.
Pickaxe miners. And one's like just bringing a mule that they stole to eat it.
Gimme hungry,
And they're attacked by the aliens. Valid alien attack right there. Like, don't eat my boy.
Hold up, back up. I got words thrown at me. What?
He tried to
So,
steal
okay,
mule.
miners are
Yes.
trying to feed someone the mule.
No, they
No,
stole
they
somebody's
just-
mule
they stole
to
somebody's
eat.
To eat.
No,
To
they
eat.
just have a mule.
No, they
eat?
stole it to eat.
Did they?
Yeah.
Why would they
Is that
eat
like
the
an actual
mule?
thing?
Yes.
I just thought they had a mule with
No,
them.
they wanted to.
They wanted to eat it. They're hungry. Because they're poor.
Because he made an agreement with Putnam to not harm any actual people, truly.
But the aliens wanted the mule.
But they did
Oh,
also,
the aliens
like,
took the mule. I thought you were talking about
No.
the miners.
No, the miners took
Yeah.
the mules to eat it.
What?
I hate miners.
What? What?
Well, they like.
But yeah.
I wonder if he had like the birds in the cages to sense like the gases.
Probably not. I don't think they thought this far ahead in the movie.
No, but they're attacked. They're attacked by the alien. Ooh, he takes them over.
The donkey was more scared than everyone else.
The
Yeah.
donkey was a star actor. He should.
The donkey should have been paid better.
Yeah.
Give him a Grammy.
The donkey deserves a
music,
Grammy.
The miners seem
Or
pretty
an
scared.
Oscar.
Like,
Is it an Oscar?
Oscars for movies, Grammys
the
for
Grammys
songs.
for music.
Oh, okay.
but like that's it. That's like the whole scene. It's just like you see this guy carrying this mule, then they're all attacked. They're like, oh, we get to eat the mule now, and then they're all attacked, and then that's it. Like, oh, that was like 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure our little skit lasted longer than this scene.
Nice.
So where are we on to now? After what happened after that?
The radio.
Yes.
Was it the radio? I don't
If you
remember.
would look at
I'm
the.
looking at the notes.
I think he's trying to
If
bring
you
us
would read
along.
the notes, you'd get what we're talking about.
If you could keep up with us jumping around, you'd be able to figure
There
out
you
where we're at.
go.
Thing.
Anyway, so Putnam would be listening to this radio as the show host just rags on him, just talking all this crap on my boy. And him and Ellen just angrily discuss, they're not arguing, they're angrily discussing whether or not they should take action as their doorbell would ring. When they open the door, they see the spaceman, which scares Ellen so much she makes our ears bleed with our lovely favorite scream.
The replayed scream for like
The
fifth time in
replayed
the
scream.
We called a Helen Scream.mp3.
Yes.
We're just gonna take it. We're just gonna put it throughout the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but this spaceman, he just removes his helmet and it's just a child that the sheriff sent. And
I
he,
remember that. It was
yeah,
just a random
it was
kid
just
on
some
his
kid,
doorstep.
and the sheriff was just messing with him. So but he says that the sheriff wants to see John, and John leaves. And he's arrived and told that over the last few days, people have just disappeared randomly.
And their clothes.
Yeah, and those who return, then like the ones that do return are like all dazed and weird.
And they don't connect this to anything that
This
he
is
said.
just nothing of importance,
And
apparently.
then I would
They
also
got
like
robbed.
I would like to point out some what do you call it? What is it called?
Subversion.
Subversion.
Some importance to the fact that Reed's computer just died and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Laugh at him.
Do you
He
want to
should've
look at
charged
my
it.
my phone?
Nah, I'm just gonna go off the noggin and let you guys take it from here.
Go off the
Okay.
noggin.
I'll take it
You know
from
what
here.
happened? We put
Okay.
up the noggin before. You were in like 12 different places before we put
So-
together a story.
No, I wasn't.
After people started going missing, Putnam started investigating.
Oh, and the
into
wives.
it.
The wives.
And the wives.
The wives are like, he doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah, because they were
Oh,
at the police station, weren't they?
he doesn't.
They don't do this normally. This is weird.
He doesn't mow the lawn. He doesn't do the dishes. Usually I do the dishes. And now he does the dishes.
All of a sudden, he's much less violent when he drinks.
This does lead though to eventually the sheriff does start to
He starts to
believe
catch
him.
on,
He's
sort
like,
of.
like after the initial he's like, these aren't combined at all. But then he does start believing, and I think that's a good time to.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Pod Killers podcast. As you see, we have taken a little lunch break.
We are on our lunch break.
We are on our lunch break
Actively.
actively.
It's a mukbang now.
Oh gosh.
I'd like to pronounce it mukbang.
So where we left off, Putnam had just went to the sheriff and heard about all the wives
So they
whose
convinced
husbands came home all dazed and confused. Well, this actually would start to, it does not fully, but it starts to convince the sheriff that something might just be happening here. And as this is happening, Ellen would be driving in a car,
In a car, yeah.
actively.
Mhm.
When Frank, remember Frank? Good old
Frankie.
Frank.
Dirty Frank.
He dies.
He dies?
He dies.
Not really, but he gets assimilated.
Well, okay, how
How do we know that these? Oh, we do know that these people come back. Never mind.
Yes.
They don't die. He gets
Hold up,
assimilated.
whoa. How does the assimilation process work?
He basically knocks them out, and then
they
the
give
fog
them cocaine.
the fog covers them, and then they get knocked out, and now he can turn into them.
How do you replace
cartel.
these people? Illicit drugs.
That's how they convert people in the cartel, man.
They
just
just
walk
give 'em cocaine.
They just give them cocaine.
I didn't know that the alien was a part of the cartel.
Yes. It's the alien. It's the space cartel.
Pablo Space.
It
Wait,
came
they're
from the
They're trying to
cartel.
go back to space to get their cocaine. They're gonna come
Yeah,
back
it's they
again.
need their space
Is it
code.
Pablo Space?
It's what they're what they're
Yes.
trailing behind them. It's actually cocaine.
Yes.
It's not the asbestos trail. but
Well,
it's okay.
Frank steps in front of the car and he's like, "Stop." So she dies, and he just gets in the car and he's like, "Take me to the mine," and she dies.
She really just did all.
Not. She actually refuses him, and Frank just kind of transforms into the alien's true form, and just
He's like,
abducts
"Oh,
her.
I'm
Dude,
going to die. I should do this.
Yeah, just abducts her. He's like, "Yo, you're not gonna drive me? I'll just fly." Seems like he didn't even need to do any of that. But he
Wait,
does.
so they can fly without their spaceship?
They float.
Yeah, they
They
float.
levitate.
Oh, they hover. Is what you
It's like walking, but it's less.
It's literally the
effort.
Beholder from
Okay.
D&D. That's what these are.
But they can carry like full-grown people with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they take them out of the
They
mine.
hover.
So currently, the alien in Frank's body has Frank's clothes.
It's not in his body. It's just a recreation
Yeah,
of his
it's
body.
literally they
Oh.
like transform into their form.
So they have like a decoy of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the person's still fine, and then the alien's just like a clone,
Oh, okay. Got
pretty much. All right. So after this, Putnam discovers that Ellen is missing because he finds a cocaine trail in his house,
And
He
her
does.
clothes
and all
are
her
missing.
clothes are gone.
And that's exactly what the sheriff was saying.
I might be one of these aliens.
What?
I
Is there a line of cocaine in your house
No.
and all your clothes are missing?
stole a woman's clothing.
What?
Check out Dylan's TikTok. We'll link
Yeah.
No.
Explicit
That
photos
account's
included.
it. Check out his OnlyFans.
That was a don't do that.
Yeah, do you have OnlyFans?
No, and I won't.
Okay, we'll try. We'll try later.
For only
No.
$5.99 a month, you
Alright.
can be the owner of this.
For $6.
The owner.
Owner of
Anyway,
Dylan's
so
OnlyFans.
Sheriff Warren, he's really close with Ellen. All right, so after getting this call, he's like, okay, we're going to the mines. So he drops Putnam off at the mines, and he just sees Ellen in like a dress
It's
in
a
the middle
red
of the
silk
desert.
dress.
It's red.
I thought it was red.
I thought
It's
it
a
was
black and white movie. You can't really tell
I
that.
was gonna say it's a black and white
Oh.
movie. I thought it was black.
I assume that like the dark color is red.
I thought they used red.
You ever heard
blood.
of black?
Ever heard
I
of-
would assume that blood is red.
Yeah.
No, but like it's red
Okay.
in my mind.
It's
Okay.
a long dark dress.
The long dark dress. And like he just chased her. He's like, Ellen, come back. And he's
Ellen.
chasing her. But he loses her over this like mound. It's like not
No, he literally just started walking towards her, and then she just kept running.
true.
There was no speed.
You're playing a silly game.
Yeah, but in my mind he was like,
Oh, the dresses are red.
So let me get this.
shut up.
Dirty Frank and Helen Keller are running through the desert, and
I'm gonna stop you right there, Josiah.
that's what I got out of
No, this is
Helen
John.
Keller
This is
couldn't
John,
run.
John and Barbara Rush.
because Frank's already dead.
No,
He's not dead. He's a
he's about to
simulator.
die, but he's not
He's
dead
about to
yet.
die.
Yeah.
I thought they just knocked him unconscious.
You did.
We'll get there. Josiah,
Slow your
Yes,
roll,
yeah.
Buckaroo.
you shut your mouth.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Anyway, so Putnam would eventually find his way to the mine shaft, speaking to the voice in the darkness. Typically, they put you in an asylum for that. Here, it works out. The voice tells him that they are just repairing their ship, and they'll leave by nightfall.
And good old what's his name?
John?
Good old John really wants a look-see at them. They do not want him to take a look-see.
I'm surprised that they don't like put him in like an asylum, like for like talking
Already.
to the voices.
Yeah, he's already talking
This is
to
back
the
in a
voices.
time where if the wife would misbehave, they would get thrown in a loony
They'd get
bin,
lobotomized
basically. Yeah.
if they were sad.
Like,
Yeah.
You don't want to cook dinner tonight? You're going to the can.
Oh, your firstborn son just died tragically?
Oh, but no,
And you're crying about it?
You're hearing
No, no,
voices
no,
in a
no.
dark cave.
This
at
was
nighttime.
50s.
Yeah.
Well, are you
Aliens.
talking about the movie when the movie was placed in?
The movie is in the 50s.
Yeah.
Everything's in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
They
loony
had
bin
rights
time.
by then.
No, it's rights, but you still put in the loony bin, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just because they had rights doesn't mean they were treated equally.
Just because
Yes.
we can
But
vote
they
doesn't
could
mean that
vote,
we couldn't.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that we're still not thrown into hospitals.
Oh, you voted for the wrong president? Loony bin.
Yes, exactly. You're getting it.
I'm understanding it.
So Putnam would actually convince the alien to show themselves, and like I said, it looks like the Beholder from D&D. Awesome design.
Insert picture here.
Insert
It
picture.
does look really good.
It
It is. I love the costume that they use.
It tickles my fancy.
It does tickle my.
It tickles a lot of my fancy.
I'm gonna stop y'all there. Let's get back on track.
So the sheriff honks his horn. He's like, "Yo, Putnam, come back here."
Is he British?
Isn't this
No.
now when he has like the entire posse basically?
No.
No, this is before.
Because
How
then
about this is when he just
What?
Oh no,
no,
he-
because then he goes and tells
he
them
first-
he's like, yo, the aliens are in there and they'll give us everyone back if we just,
if we
let them
alone,
leave.
let them-
Yeah.
And they leave them alone. And the sheriff's like, no, we're killing them.
Yeah.
We are going to
Oh, but
kill them. And
he
that's
has like 5 minutes where he's conflicted in his head, and then he decides, oh, let's kill the
Yeah.
what we know now.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, that guy, he's walking a little funny. Let's go cap him." And Putnam's like, "No," and he's like, "But it's 92 degrees outside, and murders are mostly committed at 92 degrees."
That was a
So we
weird.
gotta
What
kill
was
him.
that about?
I
That
don't know.
was stupid.
Is that a
Most
real
murders
statistic?
are committed at 92 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, is that
Is
a
that-
real statistic?
I didn't look into it.
I didn't look into it either.
I will look it up while you guys continue
But
monologuing.
Monologue. So he tries to cap the dude, and then Putnam just says, "Nah," and
They had a fun fight.
tries taking his gun. They did have a pretty fun fight.
It was decent.
The choreography wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It was decent.
I liked watching John Putnam get
I
punched
need
in the
my
face for
foil
doing
cheese.
absolutely nothing.
I agreed.
That is. Wait, no.
All right.
That is genuinely a true fact.
What?
Over 100 degrees is too hot to move. Under 92, cool to survive.
So people commit murder above 92, below
Because they're
100
irritated.
Because it is the exact perfect temperature so that you
for rage.
so that you don't die from like you yourself don't get like a heat stroke and they don't survive.
Okay. So it's too hot for them after the gunshot or wound to
Right, to like coagulate.
to like
their
hold
blood.
on. Yeah,
Right, exactly.
gotcha.
To coagulate.
Alright, I'll take those for that later.
That's
Cool.
that is incredibly
I'll
interesting.
keep that in
and
mind.
Very good research.
So after this fight, the sheriff does get a little pissy and decides he's going to go collect a posse and go kill the aliens.
A bandwagon of fools, if you may.
This is when he goes Ringo. So.
Yep, this is
They're
the part
looking
we
for
were
the missing
talking about.
water.
Whoever controls the water
Water
controls
controls
the town.
Another not horror movie.
Yeah. but
So-
Can we do Rango?
Rango technically is a
Rango
horror
Unchained.
movie.
Rango 2012. Give me back.
No, Rango Unchained,
No, it's
man.
2012 is the only.
That's
version
Django.
I've
I
ever
know.
Django.
That's the joke, dude.
I was so confused.
Thank you for catching on.
No,
They
anyway,
can't sleep in the big house.
so Putnam, who is seeking a more peaceful option, commits Grand Theft Auto 5 and decides to enter the mine alone
With the cop car.
with the cop car.
Yep.
So that
The
was
Grand
like-
Theft Auto's the cop car.
yeah, the Grand Theft Auto was the cop car. He has 5 stars.
And
So-
then the cop was mad because he took his car.
Yep.
Well, how does he have 5? Oh, never mind.
Because he stole a cop car.
And now,
No, I was-
may we all have a moment of silence as the saddest part of this entire movie commences.
I cried.
The sheriff throws a stick of dynamite on the highway, and as Alien Frank is driving, he gets shot by the sheriff, and the dynamite never goes off.
Several people laid in.
I was about to say, what? How did the dynamite
He laid it and
shoot
didn't even use it.
Frank? Well, Alien Frank.
They just throw the dynamite, and the dynamite never. They light it too.
They light
shows
it and
them
throw
lighting
it, and it never
and
does
It never
anything.
goes off, so they just shoot him.
You couldn't.
But they got like 15 people to just unload into this one person.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was literally like the end of the Devil's
It
Rejects.
was no. It was like that one scene for The Godfather where they're like at the toll booth and they're all just like shoot up Johnnies.
Yes, it's exactly like that. And then the aliens the aliens, knowing that they're gonna die anyway, just kind of want to kill themselves.
Well, they wanted to kill all the
Boys.
humans and then kill themselves.
No, they
'Cause-
wanted to kill themselves.
Well, no, they wanted to kill the humans though
But
too.
yeah, because when Putnam's chasing his wife, am I going ahead here again?
No.
No.
Okay, so when Putnam's chasing his wife through the cave, she like tries luring him into like whatever it is.
Oh,
I don't
the
know if
death
it's
traps.
just water,
It's like a
Or if it's like-
ravine.
if it's like acid or something. Because if it was just water, it wouldn't have killed Putnam. But like, after he like figures it out, he's like, "You tried to lure me down there." The alien just jumps in.
It was
Yeah.
it was like a ravine, so like they would have
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
But like the alien jumped in and started like bubbling, and like just killed itself for some
Well,
reason.
maybe it was like it couldn't be on water or something.
That's what I was thinking. Was it acid that would have just killed Putnam, or was it like just
Diesel.
water?
Well, it would have been the fall damage.
Big cheeseburger.
It was a big ravine.
You
But
know,
their
sauce.
thing
Big
was-
cheeseburger, no sauce.
Big cheeseburger.
He didn't get any sauce for anyone.
I got my own.
If you're listening to this, we have just gotten food, and
Oh yeah.
Thanks for your
You're welcome.
observation.
Yeah,
Yes.
chuckle sandwich.
Yes.
Audio listeners love you to death.
yes, that they love me. And currently, Reed has a monster and a bacon cheeseburger with no sauce. It's
I got
probably really dry.
A pizza burger.
I got a
Sweet
bunch
juicy.
of things with no sauce.
Is it
so.
juicy?
I got a cheeseburger and mini
Anyways.
corn dogs with ketchup.
The entire point was that if they left them alone, they wouldn't kill the people. But if they tried to kill the aliens, they would kill the people.
That leads into the main theme of the whole movie. I feel past the horror and everything is because this is a topic that the aliens bring up themselves as well directly, so it's not like a hidden thing. But people destroy what they don't understand. Either destroy or fear it. So they either push it away out of sight, out of mind, or they completely get rid of it.
Like femboys.
Like no, people like femboys. There's a lot of weirdos.
Oh, you
Stop
would,
looking at
you
me.
would know, Doug. No, it's that age-old quote. Like,
We'll
fear,
put up a picture.
that like, you know, we've all watched
Picture here.
Oversimplified. But it's,
Mhm.
fear left unchecked leads to anger. Anger leads to violence. You know?
Mhm.
And that's what happened.
Dylan, didn't you have a question about like why she chose to kill herself?
Yeah, why did she just like after he found out, she just jumped in for no
No.
reason?
The alien.
It's because hold on.
Oh.
It's because they said that on their world they're non-violent. They didn't want to kill the humans, and then
Yeah.
I believe that the alien felt so much guilt for
I
trying to
remember
kill
that,
another
yeah.
human being that it was like, I can't live after trying to kill someone. So it killed itself.
Makes sense. So, are you guys ready to wrap up this movie?
Is that the end of the
We are.
movie?
That's
a little bit more.
Oh, there's one
there's
more
like
scene.
one more act.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So, after
There's a fight.
they try to kill Putnam, and then Ellen's alien counterpart kills herself, Putnam makes his way to where they have this big like laser gun that's powering their spaceship, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to shoot you guys with it." How are you gonna
Wasn't it
stop
gonna
us?
like destroy the planet?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna blow up the entire planet.
Which also conflicts with what you said, because
We're
they don't like violence, but these other aliens chilling in the cave are like, yeah, we're just gonna kill everything.
Yeah. We're literally going to scorch Earth it.
all perish.
Well, okay, if you imagine them from their situation, from their entire time, they've just been trying to escape Earth.
Yeah.
And so
And
far,
they're
they
getting
have
shot
run
up.
into nothing but violence. Now, admittedly, they did start the violence by almost knocking out and killing people.
They weren't killing
Which
people.
hasn't
They
been-
were just
Which
knocking
hasn't
them out.
been explained yet, but somehow people die.
They
So
don't die.
They don't
Okay,
die.
they don't die. Okay.
They just get knocked unconscious,
Got
and
his
then
head
they
knocked
were,
on a rock.
and then they were taken to the mine, and then they were kept hostage in the
Mhm.
mine.
Now they're being hunted down, and they don't know what else to do.
Makes sense.
It's sort of like
That
it's
makes
a little
sense.
extreme if you ask me, but
Yeah.
if I was,
Luckily, Putnam's just like, homie, please just continue your repairs. I'll go talk to him. And he's like, cool. Alright? And then Putnam's like, homie, let me take the hostages out as a show of good faith. And the aliens are like, cool. So he ends up just taking them all out. And all these people that were kidnapped, he just shows Sheriff Warden like, yeah, they're fine. They're vibing. They're living.
You know what I just realized we didn't talk about?
Spider on the street.
Spider on the street.
I was thinking about
we
that the whole
completely
time.
skipped
We'll go
it
back.
over.
We'll go back. We'll go back.
We'll go back. We'll talk about Spider on the
That'll be
Street.
the highlight of the whole
That'll be the
movie.
highlight.
So, the sheriff would arrive with his mob, but seeing all these people, he'd be like, cool, let's kill them anyway.
What, the people? The hostages? Or
No,
the
no, like,
aliens?
he sees
The
all the
sheriff and
hostages
the
come
posse
out.
wanted to just kill the aliens anyways, because why not?
He sees all the hostages standing in the cave.
He's like, oh, they're safe now. Nobody can eradicate them.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're safe. We're gonna kill them anyway. But these hostages realize these aliens are homies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. they're tight. All right, they're friends with these aliens. So them along with Putnam blow up the entrance to the mine and completely seal it off. And that allows the aliens to finish their repairs, and they would just
Probably
get
leave.
up and leave.
And then you get a reverse shot of the intros.
Yeah, and it's just the same thing as the intro
It's
scene,
the same
but
thing
in
of the
reverse.
asteroid crashing down, but instead it's just reversed.
But it is the only like reused,
It's the
other
only
than the
reused other
scream.
than the
It's the
scream,
only
which is really
reused like effect in this entire movie.
Effect.
I said effect with a T.
I love effects.
With a T.
But and then Ellen would look to John and be like, "Will they ever come back?" And John says, "Probably."
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Very cool.
So I can't read in purple.
So let me get this straight. So they knocked out people to take their bodies, but
Yep.
instead of they just took them with them, just so they.
Just
So that they'd be
it's
held
kept them safe,
hostage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But they didn't have their clothes.
So they went and got
They
their
did.
clothes.
But I thought you said where they left the people off, there was a trail of cocaine and their clothes.
No, their clothes were gone from their house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they-
went to their houses
Ah.
and took their clothes.
Yeah.
they
Gotcha.
literally took clothes.
Oh, so they're just home invaders.
Also,
Yeah,
how
they
did they
are.
know where they live?
Wallet.
What about the women?
They look up their social
Purse.
security number.
Wait, but women can drive, so they had no reason to carry around their ID.
Well, you.
What are you talking about? Women don't drive.
That was the point.
I was genuinely confused.
No, they like stalk the people before they do it. They're like, you live here, and then they go raid their houses.
Maybe.
Pretty much. So
The
yeah,
aliens are an what's the word? Not an alibi. They're an innuendo of just stalkers and creeps.
That's
Stalkers
facts.
and creeps.
Identity theft.
That wanted to destroy the earth.
Identity
coming
theft
for
is
us.
not a joke, Jim.
What?
It's from The Office.
It's from The Office.
I don't watch the
When
Office.
Asian Jim was on there, and then he put in the password of the phone, and then he was like,
How do you
"Identity
know that?
theft is not a joke." What?
How do you know that?
So do you guys want to wrap this up with our ranking of the movie?
Well, no, we did the spider on the string.
Do you want to
Okay, so the spider on the string was like, I don't even remember.
It was a spider.
It was
on a string.
when he was coming out
was
of the
just like-
cave, or he was going into.
Yeah.
The spider just dropped down. And it was on a string, and someone was going like this.
And it had
Yeah.
this stupid voice, like it was just a cheap little spider, and just like a sound in the background going the whole time.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
So who wants to go first with their rating?
I can go.
We could go left or right. Oh, okay, that works too.
So we did a 1 to 10 scale, and we ranked costume props, acting, visual effects, atmosphere, scare factor, and then we have our total, and then we have our star rating.
Hold on, I need a picture of this. I need to do this myself.
You don't.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Can I do it from what, like, can I just do an overall score?
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't watch
that's
it.
fine, that's fine. Reed, if you want to start, you can. It'd make more sense.
Or do-
All right,
Okay.
I'll start.
Well, his is also first on here.
Mine is also first on the dock.
Yes.
So for costuming and props, I said 8 out of 10. Like they all just played normal people. They looked like normal people. The like I said, the spaceship was an amazing prop. That also was a practical effect, and I like how all the windows and doors were functional, so they could just dump it full of magnesium, and I love that. I like things that go boom. Also, the aliens.
They
Aliens.
did look good.
They look good.
It doesn't make this look
Acting, I gave it a 7 out of 10. For a 1950s movie, it's not that bad. Is it good by today's standards? No.
It probably couldn't pass.
It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
For an almost 80-year-old movie.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I said 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Do your math, Dylan.
Visual effects, I gave a 9 out of 10 because that landslide, the rock slide, was beautiful.
That was like the only big one too,
Yeah.
other than, you know.
Atmosphere, I gave like a 6 out of 10. It was kind of mid. Like, I wasn't really too like, oh, what's gonna happen? I was like, huh, spider on the string.
But on the screen.
And that, like, it was just like the cheapness of some things just was pretty funny, personally. The scare factor, obviously, like I just said, I wasn't really all that scared by it. I gave it a 4 out of 10. Like, ooh. Like, I like the concept. It has an amazing concept, but just the oldness of the movie.
Okay, we're gonna hurry through this.
Yes, we're gonna.
Alright, so I gave it a total of 34 out of 50 and a star rating of 3.4 out of 5.
For my costuming and props, I did 7 out of 10. It was good. I liked it. Acting, 3 out of 10. They weren't scared half the time or concerned half the time. Visual effects, 10 out of 10. I thought it was amazing, especially for the time. Atmosphere, same thing as Reed, 6 out of 10. Scare factor, 5 out of 10. Total, 31 out of 50. Star rating, 3.1 out of 5.
For me personally, I tried comparing it to today's movies as well as what the capabilities were in the back then, obviously. So costuming and props, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I felt like all the sort of everything was kind of just standard, but not was nice and good. Acting, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I felt like it was solid, but it could have been better, could have been worse. It was give or take. Visual effects, 7 out of 10. I'd say because the ship, everything else, rock slide, door, everything was really good. Atmosphere, 5 out of 10. Not anything really special. It was a desert in Arizona. With the scare factor, 3 out of 10. I could see how it could scare like a little kid if they're freaked out back then, but other than that, not really much. I give it a total, with all that added up, a 29 out of 50 with a star rating of 2.9 out of 5.
And then finally, we have our.
Oh no, I need to
sorry,
do mine.
whoopsies.
So from the story I got told and the pictures I got shown, which was very limited, the story was decently well put together. There wasn't a whole lot of thought behind it, nor logicality behind it, but there was a lot of realism. It was very accurate to the time. So I'm going to give it a 39 out of 50. Now this last rating is not inclusive with mine because we didn't have time. So the total rating across the board was 94 out of 150, or an average rating of 31.33 out of 50, and a star rating of 3.1 out of 5.
Which I would just like to say was my star rating.
Yep. So we have a pretty good movie for a 19 to start off with.
Yes.
Not the best and not the worst. A great starting point. And my computer is now above my head.
Woo!
We'll see you later.
That was the popular
And good night, New York.